You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Chris Gillis. Masculine energy and the Valentine's Day gift dilemma solved.
All right, we are back. We are telling you to life check your damn self here with my manalist extraordinaire, Christopher Gillis. The one.
Welcome back.
The only. Welcome back. We should, again, wish I had that welcome back Cotter. Welcome back.
You're dating yourself. No one knows that. Oh, maybe you're
I am dating myself, and I don't give a shit.
That's right, babe.
Yeah, baby. Okay. We are here. I mean, I saw the funniest freaking meme. I think it was in the core, which has become Bachelor Nation in a nutshell, our little private groups, about me going into premiere night without having a single week off since June 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Katie, Paradise, Michelle, Clayton. That's me and Chris Gillis right now. We're like, shit, man, we haven't had a break from this Bachelor nonsense in a freaking June 2021. It's been a long go, but
totally.
We were there last night or the other night for the premiere of I keep calling him Colton.
Clayton. Wait, that's something
Clayton.
Isn't it funny how ABC, I think it was kind of genius of them because there were so many people like you. Well, fucking half the Bachelor Nation's like, I never watched this again, blah, blah, blah. But they did such a good job not to give us a chance to develop any other hobbies or watch any other shows or get any other, to break our, our habit, right? Our habit. They've been training us, boom, boom, boom. It's like, fuck. Before we could find something, start playing pickleball on Mondays. They got us watching.
We got us back to our diet of things. I was going to say, I did like, for those of you who don't watch the show, I swear we're going to talk about some actual dating shit in like 2 minutes. But I did like having a professional host rather than the two amateur hostesses. I really appreciated that he knows what he's doing. And it was just so much less of a distraction.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, you're right. That was good. I also, I was telling your man that although Clayton, I think, is such a nice, obviously, kind of a forgettable, but just a sweetheart. I think they did a good job, as they always do, dude. We got to find somebody, the psychologist, whoever it is, who picks these people. They always end up picking like the most awesomely hot messes to like expose and cause a shit show, even from like the calmest, nicest dude. So I do think we're going to have a fun season and have lots of good stuff to talk about.
I think so too. And also we were trying to figure out which Disney character he looks like. And someone said Gaston.
Yeah.
But didn't you have somebody else that you thought he was like a doppelganger for in the Disney kingdom? Mustasa? No, who's the king?
No, that was Jafar. That was the last. That was Jim.
Okay.
Somebody said he looks like a thumb. There's like a Disney movie where there's like a walking thumb. And it's really fun. And it really actually does look a lot like him. The dude's a badass though. He's another 6'5" stud. All the girls are like, I don't know anything about him, but I'm so turned on. Again, we always talk about fucking they're like, oh, I'm all over. They're obsessed with him already without knowing him again, which makes for awesome TV. Not awesome.
However, let's just jump right into this though, because this was like, there were two surprises for me on night one that I want to talk about. One is they set it up with Steamboat Salley, who has like ridiculous Love Island UK extensions hair. I was like, that is some Love Island worthy hair.
Terrible, yeah.
So fake. But anyway, so y'all think I'm judging everyone. I am. But I just can't help it because they show up like characters. They're just so caricature-ish. So So anyway, she shows up. She's like very upset because this was supposed to be the weekend she gets married, and she shows up and cheating, like going to like get a little taster test of Clayton before the event even starts to tell him that, you know, she's not over her ex-fiance, and there's a whole situation there. But what I really want to talk about is how do you know you should start dating again after a breakup like that, you know? And you know, it's like, it's a great question. And I think what's interesting is you can put the bright, shiny object in front of yourself. A guy like Clayton, like super cute, like very nice. He's obviously into her. He even offers her the rose and all this kind of nonsense. But I was very impressed that she decided to remove herself from the game show because she said that she realized that she really is not over her ex and that she has no business dating. And so I was just curious, when do you think it is, you know, a signal that you could go back out there and date seriously? I think there's a difference between like, you want to start dating, just, you know, get back on the horse, get some practice, have some wild sex versus like looking for love. What do you think?
That's a great question. Hold on. I just need to say right now before to get it out. Cause I miss watching the show with you. Cause then I could like yell and scream and you'd be like fucking high-fiving me and be like, oh, Chris, you're crazy or whatever. But like, I lost my shit when I hated when women do this, when she was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Shows up and you could tell she was like begging, like wanting him so bad. He went out and got the goddamn rose. I was livid when she's like, oh, I don't know. I need to think about it. I thought it was like, I don't know. It drove me nuts because it seemed like she was just so thirsty for that attention and just glowing to be like, oh, look at me. Pay attention to me. Tell me I'm the one. And the guy's the nicest guy ever, which is going to make for greatness because I'm sure we've all dated those guys. He's like one of those nice guys who can't say no. And that's a whole, gosh, I'm sure we'll discuss that.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is that I think, and this is my, so if I'm going to say like early concerns is like, well, he kissed 5 women on the first night. I think I'm a little afraid he's going to like anyone who likes him.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he feels very nervous and insecure. This guy got 8 minutes of screen time. We learned last night that this show is being filmed less than 8 weeks after he is on another season. So I can imagine it's been a whirlwind. And, you know, he's like got a lot of shit online. So he kind of has to prove himself. Totally. So I hope that he's not, she likes me. I like her. But I was just like, first of all, let's just talk about the show for a second. Like I saw some memes on Twitter about like, where'd bitch get a phone? Like I saw a guy who was like, I've been on this show 5 times. I don't know how she got a phone.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was what's his name? Katie Thurston's ex guy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
How did you get a phone? Crazy. It was insane. But anyway, so I was impressed though that, you know, she says, I'm not over you. I'm not over my ex. And I think that if you are still longing or remembering or having nostalgia or having tears or replaying events in your mind, like you were talking about tracing where you possibly got COVID. You're like, when you're replaying it in your mind, you're like, was it this? Should I have done that? You know, I think that you're not ready to be in a serious relationship. For sure. I give her credit for, you know, being able to like know that she wasn't ready for that and for disqualifying herself. Any other signs that you can think of that, you know, you're not over your ex yet? For sure. And by the way, P.S. I think you're being sweetly naive. I think that she's going to make a reappearance. I totally do. I also do. Okay, so like this, so we're all winking, giving. Okay, this is I'm like, we're winking, giving her credit for. Yeah, I think she's definitely coming back because otherwise, why did they focus on her? We got a little bio, you know, moment where we saw her like. She's had more screen time so far than Clayton had the whole time he was on The Bachelorette. So. It was impressive.
It was impressive. So anyway, great question. And I think he's going to be back, because unless the producers of The Bachelor are trying to give us some good content to talk about on this podcast, which I doubt, I think it's going to be more poor decisions. But so I always this is a fantastic question. I think when I think we know, or I like, because personally, like I've known, like when I'm healed, when things no longer trigger me anymore, like I'm not either angry at them. And God, I used to do this all the time. I used to like, go from girlfriend to girlfriend, and I would spend like the first 6 months of the new girlfriend talking about, I'm like the old girlfriend to the new girlfriend. Used to drive me crazy. She's like, God damn, you talk about that girl a lot. And it's like, no, I hadn't been over it. And I was swinging from limb to limb, like Tarzan through the forest, just grabbing one and not completely letting go, and put my feet on the ground to heal. So I think that's a great sign when like, man, it still pisses you off for good. Obviously, yeah. And if you are thinking, or if you're noticing like only the good memories, or if you're feeling really sad or whatnot about it, are some good signs. You're driving by his house.
Well, definitely that. Here's the other thing. I think when I was single and I was dating, if a guy would start talking about his ex and he would get passionate about it, like really angry, or really like just even if like she was such a bitch, or talking about his ex, or his ex, like he got heated, I would be like, wow, this person's definitely says they're over it, but they're not.
Also great. I think that applies to another thing we see in real life in dating, is that if the man, we don't have issues with our ex, we oftentimes have issues and talk very passionately about our moms, which is something else that a lot of us have been guilty of, myself included. And, if we're talking mad shit about anybody, any significant women in our life, I think it's a huge red flag to explore. But so let me kick this back to you then. How would you explore if you were, you're going on a date, and, your man starts, the guy you're dating is like just talking a lot of shit, either about his ex or his mom, to figure out like, ooh, is this wound still healing? Is this guy ready for me?
Well, I mean, I would notice it, and then I would be, my mantra is go on 3 dates, collect data, have fun. If it was starting to be a pink flag, I would just kind of ask some clarifying questions, like, what did you learn from your last relationship? How often do you see her? Like, it sounds like if you'd say, you can also do this move, you can be empathetic. But also it will allow someone else to continue talking if they want. So you could say like, wow, it sounds like you're still really pissed. And if they go, well, yeah, blah, blah, you know what else? Instead of going, well, I am. And also, they can like talk about what they're upset about or what they learned from it. Like, so I think using the empathy, and seeing how they kind of go on from there would be a good way to see if they can close the gap themselves. Because sometimes, we just get on a loop and we forget. I think for a lot of women, like, if you're feminine and you ask a question like that, and the guy will just start talking and he'll forget, like he's on a date, so you're like, oh, yeah. So you're like, so it sounds like you're really mad, and then see if he can like, pull his head out of his ass and put a bow on it and close it up. Okay. We have to talk about this too. Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I love that. I was saying, I love that. And I think what you said, the takeaway here is you said, passionate, and that can be either for positive or negative. If someone's just really animated going on about things. And I said, I think I'm going to say a caveat, but also just to add to it is, for example, though, but if you're with the person down the road, and then I think it's okay. I don't know if Jeremy does this ever. If he's like, God damn, what I love about you is like your, appreciation for XYZ, and maybe his ex didn't have that, and I do that sometimes, and I'm just like outwardly speaking, because I know it's kind of fun to gas my woman up and let her know how rad she is, and how much she's a little better than the other version. My lady's pretty competitive, and to know, and also just to give props to her, for being so special, and just a reminder what a great match we are. But I think the good takeaway is, I'm not saying it when I'm saying it. I'm not saying it. There's no anger or spite. It really is like a relief. Like, holy moly. Matter of fact, I was just at the gym today texting my friend about that, about how much our exes have set up when you're dating the right women, the right exes, it could get us closer and closer, like a metal detector, as I told them, to really finding it. We start hearing those chirps on the metal detector, to really finding that pot of gold that we want.
Oh, sounds like you and Dr. Emily are in a really nice space right now.
We are.
I love that. That's so cute. Okay, let's talk about this. So there's a character on this show named Claire who was there for 5 minutes. And before she even makes the move, they go on this like fake setup date, and it's a tailgating party. And, it's like they're playing cornhole and they're eating wings and barbecue sauce. And she's wearing a really gorgeous sequiny dress, and she's a pretty woman. As she walks in, she's like playing cornhole. And I said to the people that I was watching it with, I was like, wow, that's another dude in a dress.
Totally.
Did you get her masculine energy vibes?
100%. Yeah, 100%. She wants to be. Yeah, wants to be. Yeah, so that was the avatar she was putting out. And then, of course, a few minutes later, we realized she does have feelings, and she is sensitive, and she is a feminine woman and emotional by her actions and words.
Wait, no, but I'm talking about the girl who's like, he's not my person. Like
Yes, babe, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. I mean,
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. And also like right away, talk about chemistry killer. He's like being flirty about like, about the game. And she was like, no, I won.
God, you're right, Marni. I didn't even catch that. You're right. That was the
moment. That was the kill right there. They're playing a game. It's like playful and fun. He's like, oh, I think I beat you. She's like, no, I won. And he's like, okay. And then that was just, it was done.
Yeah, she was like trying to squash him in a way, and not like you said. Instead of the game. Games are, it's something delicate. Like I said, I don't know how. Yeah, you're different, Marni. You're fun to play games with, but like me and my lady and the ladies I've dated in the past, like I'm probably like an asshole, but I've noticed that. Yeah, it can. I'm very competitive, too competitive, and it can get nasty like that. But yeah, it turned nasty instead of playful. Like,
yes,
that wouldn't have been a good relationship, even if it would have worked out. And I felt like, yeah, you're right. How did she miss that opportunity? She's in a fucking sequence dress, and she's like talking shit to him like a bro, and like trying to like put him down in like a not funny, clever, cute way. And I didn't dig that. You're right.
Yeah. So I think if you're going on a date and it's the whole thing, like I always say, a guy doesn't want to kiss a dude in a dress. Like it's looking at that, are you competitive? Do you need to win? Do you need to be smarter? I think women do that on dates all the time. There's our famous, our old man panelist, Christian Anderson, liked to tell the story about how he went on a date with a sommelier and he was trying to like impress her and order some wine. She was like, wait. I'm a foodie. I'm a wine person. Let me handle this. And he was just sort of like, okay, never mind. And so I
set him up with that date. That's my good friend. That's like my best gal pal I set him up with. So.
And he was just like, and it was such a bummer because she was so pretty and so great, but she just totally like twisted his balls.
She is. I told her to see you a couple times, matter of fact, and she's like keeps on doing her same bullshit thing over and over again. And
that was a long time ago, so I hope
totally. But this is a really good topic to bring up because it is fun, guys. We do that. It's fun to play skee ball with your partner, or like cornhole, or what's the
Jeremy and I started playing pool.
Pool, 100% pool. It's a little hockey one, a foosball, right? And it's fun. But yeah, and you're also right that it's not, you don't want to. We're not telling the ladies who are listening like, lay down and let them just destroy you or whatever. Like, oh, woe is me. Like that's not fun. It's fun to talk a little smack and whatever. But yeah, you're right. The way that smack talk, like it's in a flirtatious way versus like you're an NFL player, like trying to fucking score a touchdown on him. And win your contract and make him feel like shit and get in his head way, which is the way that chick did, which was consistent, of course, throughout the rest of the way that she acted.
So then she's like, she goes back to her let's call them friends, the other women in the room, and she's like, man, I would crush that guy, and she knows she's like a ball breaker. She's like, he's too nice for me. Like, I need a guy with an edge. And I think so many women, we talk about this all the time on our campus, like the nice guy is there and I don't know if Clayton's a nice guy, we don't know yet, but like the nice guy's there, he's being really nice to you, and it like feels so uncomfortable. Like you want to be with someone who's like not kind or more aggressive or whatever you think alpha is, which is so crazy because he's a big alpha looking dude. He's a 6'5" football player. Yeah, exactly.
For a minute. How much more alpha? He's 6'5". How much more alpha do you want?
Yeah, she's like, I would crush him. And so I just think that is such a mistake that so many women make. You're like, he's not strong enough. He's not assertive enough. But like, maybe, do you need that? Because you don't need two people like that in the relationship.
And it's absolutely in the beginning. It's got to be. It is fun. Like I am like a better person, and I would enjoy like a close cornhole match and some shit talking, but kind. I think she really revealed and pulled back the curtains of how she really feels about herself. Because when you're truly an alpha, you lift people up. You want them to do good. You want them to get better at tennis. You don't want to destroy them. You want them to make that tough shot. Because that's what leaders do. And she was coming from actually, I think, a place of weakness with the way that she was handling it all. And it was a total turn off and by her end. And
I think when she was, and this is also like trusting your judgment. She comes back or trusting your gut, and they're like, "How did it go?" She's like, "That was awkward. It went really poorly." And so I think she knew the moment where he was like, "Wah wah wah wah," like it changed. And then what I think you said is so brilliant, like. And then she convinces herself, like, I'm going to reject him before he rejects me. And I think a lot of our listeners do that too. They're like, oh, he's out of my league, or some other sort of imagined reason why you make him wrong. I think that one of the biggest mistakes women make, and men, but women who are listening to the show make, is that in order to leave something, you have to blame somebody. You have to make them wrong instead of just saying like, that was awkward. I don't know what it was. Like maybe she doesn't know that moment. She can't watch the replay yet. Yeah. Be like, I don't know. there's a misconnection. I'm kind of bummed. I don't think it's going to work. Which has been said on this show, like 100,000 times. Right. But she had to like, be like, and therefore, he's a pussy. I don't like him. And that made me a little sad for her.
For sure. And I've done so many man panels for you, and I see that same equation where woman is really hangs her hat on something she's really good at. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's maybe it's being a doctor. Maybe it's being good at cornhole. Whatever it is really, really good at it. And that's like her sense of pride. And it's so, like you mentioned earlier, it's encouraged to be strong and be powerful, like something that she's really, really strong at, right? And then I've been on Man Panel. I get these things. I'm like, my forehead ends up bleeding because I'm slapping it so many times by the ladies who are like, oh, he doesn't. I think I can't date him because he doesn't make enough money, or he doesn't work out hard enough, or whatever. Like always some like thing that she's super intense on and really hangs her ego, and it's become a socially acceptable bullshit excuse of why, like you said, like why they're wrong and she's right. And then, rinse, wash, repeat. And then she keeps doing the same thing over and over again. And she, goes to the same circle of friends. And he's like, yeah, he's a big pussy. He chooses wings over flats on his, when he's eating his chicken wings, and he can't beat him cornhole. And oh, God, wherever she's at, giving her
you can do better than that, girl.
You're just too good for these guys. Exactly. To what end you stop and you say, hold on.
What really matters.
Right?
Yeah, what really matters. And I do think it's really interesting. Like what I'm kind of curious about this season is I was impressed. There's a lot of professional women on this season. Yeah. Doctors, ICU, nurses.
That's the problem with COVID, babe. All the nurses are auditioning for it.
Yeah, they can't date, so they have to go on
a shortage.
Yeah, they're all on the Bachelor. But I think there's a lot of professional women. And it was funny, like even in the intros, when they were like, there was a real estate, someone who's real estate, someone who works in like wealth management. And there was kind of saying like, I have everything going in my life except this, which is like what our listeners and our clients say. So I will be really interested to see if those successful, strong women can step into their femininity and be vulnerable, which is not being dramatic, right? And see how that goes. So it'll be interesting. So I'm impressed possibly with the caliber.
That's our drinking word game, vulnerable, on every season. But what's interesting this time, in Bachelor, it means something very different when the men are. But it's interesting, this time we're going back to being vulnerable. And then this time, it does, to be vulnerable, we're talking about here in this case is to be, God, I guess, have that divine femininity, and to know that, I guess, I don't know if surrender is the right word, but to just really embrace what she is, and to know that, like we said, I guess with vulnerability is to know that no matter what happens, they will be strong enough, but to really reveal who she is. And like what you said with, what was her name? Claire, is like, if she could have came back and said, dang, that's a bummer, whatever, I beat his ass at Cornell, I just didn't see chemistry, darn it, this is frustrating, or some sort of, truth. Instead of, like you said, that finger pointing. Such a cheap, easy way out.
So annoying.
All
right, last thing we need.
Feels so good.
Easy to do. So last thing I want to talk about, because I think this is a small detail, but I also was like, what the fuck? So there's a moment where one of these women, I can't remember her name, gives this guy, Clayton, a gift, which is 100-something-year-old photo of her family. She's like, here's a token, and like, it's the only picture, and here, you keep it. I was like, Jeremy's like, I mean, shouldn't she put like some, laminate that shit before she gives it to him? And I think that this is, in the real world, this is the over-gifting, the over-functioning thing that women do, and I think they do it too soon. Like, I was going to wear my green shirt, but I realized I didn't go to the dry cleaner this week. Oh, my God, I have to take my dress to the dry cleaner. I'll do it for you. Oh, my God, I was just happened to be baking muffins, and I thought I'd bring them to your office. It's like this over, like it's not matched. It's not matched. And so I felt like that was a way too big of a give for just meeting somebody.
It's like a Larry David skit, Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's just waiting to be written. What an awkward over-gifting thing that he wanted no part of, a 110-year-old photo that, and he fucking crumples it and puts it in his pocket.
I know, we were joking. We're like, I hope the PA who gets that, like, takes good care of it. And hopefully he just gives it to the PA who gives it back to her.
So what kind of gifts then? Because, man, we're notorious for this. And I have friends all the time, and I'm always telling them, hey, dude, I don't know if a dozen flower. Actually, I've been guilty of this as well, because everybody has different love languages. But yeah, you're right. So, it was a kind. I know the gesture was pure. It's just too awkward, too much. I think you have to match their energy. Match their energy. Well, right. What about first dates when you don't really know them yet?
Don't bring a gift. If a guy brings you flowers or something, or a gesture like that, I think that's super sweet. Don't be like, it's too much. Because I've also seen women be like, oh my God, it was too much. He like brought me a flower, or he said I was pretty 12 times. And so I think it's like, you want to match their energy. So if like Valentine's Day is coming soon for those of you who are listening live, right? Like, so let's say, it's the middle of January and you've been dating a guy 3 or 4 weeks. Like, what do you do for Valentine's Day? It's like, well, like if you're at the beginning, maybe you give a card, but you don't buy him like, a $250 shirt, you don't go on eBay and buy the like one of a kind, shoe that just dropped, like you have to kind of play it by where you are in the relationship. And I think also you can even have a conversation about it. Like, hey, I know we've only dated a few weeks. Valentine's Day is coming up. Like, how, let's just keep it casual. I just want you to know, like, I really like you. And also we've just started dating. So I just want you to know, like, I don't have any expectations about something big. But what do you think we should do? Or do you not want to do anything? Like, have the conversation. I don't know.
Oh, you're so good at that. You are so good at that. I was like, what do you do then? I'm like, so dumb. I didn't even think about having that conversation. And that's, one of your superpowers to do. But yeah, it is. I guess it just would seem, I guess if you really like somebody, but you're right though. No, it is about just being vulnerable again, right? And having that combo and letting them, hey, I know it's coming up, and setting that expectation. So one of them doesn't show up with, like you said, a dozen roses, the brand new Jordans that just dropped, and she's like giving gifts, and you're like, I didn't want to be the awkward one, huh?
Yeah, so like I think like ladies, like if you're listening to this live, like if he doesn't ask you about Valentine's Day and there's like it's like February 7th, I would just have, and I'm talking if like you've gone on a couple dates or one date a week, or it's kind of new. Okay. I would just say like, hey, I know, haha, like men's favorite holiday, Valentine's Day. Like we just started dating. Like, what do you want to do? Or we could do nothing, but I'm curious. I just want to have an open conversation. Or if you're like, hey, and this happened to me and Jeremy when we were first together. I was like, okay, so I'm really big into Hallmark holidays. Like Valentine's Day is a big thing. I'm going to get you a gift. Because we've been dating like 8 months or 7 months or whatever. Just right. So I think that's a great conversation to have, and it's only awkward if you believe it's awkward. It's really just about practicing having open, honest conversation with someone that you're dating.
I love it, and I as well will practice doing more of that. It's so hard after all these years to be that, to be vulnerable, and to put yourself out there. But yeah, you're right. It's so powerful, and it never goes as bad as we imagine, right? As soon as you're like, God damn, why was I stressed out about that? It was so easy to just have that conversation. And also,
I think you have to, like, I've been training my man for like 12 years around gifts because it's not his natural thing. And for Christmas, he gave me like such an amazing, beautiful necklace, really meaningful, very thoughtful. And it really took like years and years of him understanding like that I feel and experience being special by, little gestures like that. And so if your guy doesn't get it right the first time, don't be like, he's obviously an idiot. No, like he just needs to know, because everybody has their own experience of these Hallmark holidays. So if it's a thing for you and you're dating someone, just have a conversation, because set a guy up to win, not to fail.
I also love that you pointed out, you made the distinction. The gifts don't always have to be something tangible. You said it could be mentioned, telling you, that you look beautiful, complimenting you on your food, whatever it is like that. And some people are comfortable. We're all wired differently, and we've all read the 4 love languages. And of course, it's so easy for us to cook up whatever love languages we like, and takes years of training, in your case 7, to get your bloke to realize 12. This is what I call good. 12. Yeah, absolutely. To get them to that place to realize, it's breaking new ground and opening them up to see that. And I guess it goes back to being vulnerable again and having that conversation. Not just for Valentine's Day, but to, hey, you know what, if you don't have, if it's not true, don't say it. But if if you're thinking that I look smoking hot today or sexy, I would make you feel like cloud 9, and to give them the chance, like we always say, to be your hero, because we do love that. Set us up for a win by putting that ball right at the rim, so we can just dunk it away as well.
Dunk it in. I love that. Well, I'm excited about this season. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm just so happy. Honestly, I'm so happy that Jesse, whatever the fuck his name is the host.
Palmer.
Jesse Palmer. Literally, like, my shoulders relaxed, like, just right when he came out, because I realized that I have, how like when you see a comedian, but like it's open mic night and they come out and you just have this tension in your body, like, please don't fuck it up, like, be funny.
The worst. I was holding, every time that show would be on, I would hold it in my body of like, oh, they're so bad at this. And so just having a professional. It's like going to the doctor and being like, oh, like, you have 8 million certificates on your wall and you're not 12 years old. Like, you know what you're doing. So praise the universe who picked dear Jesse Palmer to be the host. He made me feel safe. And Salley also, he's a handsome guy. Am I right? Yeah, he's okay. He's enough, okay. He's enough. He's got the vagina. He's basically like the vagina hands. He's like mastered all the, like, he said, here's what this is my. What are vagina hands? I haven't heard this. You've never heard that? Well, if you watch hosts, if you watch a host, watch Ryan Seacrest,
Any of these guys, they hold their hands like in a V, their thumbs touching, and then it's like making a little triangle with your hands. Craig Chimay, our producer for Ignite Your Life, and he's done a lot of our video stuff. He was a professional host. He told me it was called vagina hands. So you do that, and then you lift one up and you gesture, and then you go back to vagina hands, and then you gesture with your left hand and you go back to vagina hands. And so he's got that very, very well. He's a professional, and so.
Oh my gosh!
I like that.
Okay,
that made me feel safe.
Okay, I love it. I also I learned a new word. Is it? Maybe sorry. It's a jump hug. So you know how they always do that? The
jump hug. Yep.
But it's called like a hooju or a hujo, whichever. I'm sure I'm getting those the vowels right there. That's their patented where they run up there and they wrap their arms around them and do that.
They make them do that.
Yeah.
I also learned last night that the lead for The Bachelor makes $100,000 just for being chosen.
Is that enough?
Are they in it for the right reasons? We'll find out this season on The Bachelor. Chris, I love you. You're amazing.
Love you too.
And ladies, whatever you do, listen to this episode. Are you doing some of this shit? Whatever you do, don't forget every day, life check yourself with some self-compassion and some love. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high-caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.